That's how I told y'all need the music. Don't let the ass out.
Every day it's the same shit with you. It's the same shit with you. You need to. Why are you
running up on me, bro?
Why are you running up on me like that? Why are you running up on me like that? You are too young to be acting like that.
What?
You know what? I'm gonna call the police.
You call whoever you want.
I'm gonna call the police. I'm gonna call the police. You better stop grabbing my phone. You better stop grabbing my phone like you grown. You better stop grabbing my phone like you
can't
grown.
put me out of
Yes, I can put you out.
Like I said, I'm gonna go do what I want to do. This is my house.
What?
I help pay the bills, and I don't care.
What bills you help pay?
Ma, you can't.
What bills did you help pay?
You my mama. I'm your son. You can't tell me where to go.
But if you're gonna be running up on me like that, you're gonna get up out of here.
Every day I'm outside hitting blocks.
Why are you going to sleep with a ski mask on?
So why'd you post me on social media? Talking about.
What you mean why I'm posting on social media? Because that's how you act.
It's for real. I don't care.
This is for my protection and for my safety. This is for my protection and my safety.
Get back. Get back.
Ain't no get back. I'm not getting back. I'm not getting back. I'm not getting back.
Every day I'm spinning these blocks.
You better get back.
What?
You better get back.
What?
Watching this, all I keep hearing in my mind is, I don't need no man to raise my child. I don't need no man to raise my child.
And if you really want to know who the criminals are in this country, you can Google it. You don't have to trust me. But the people that commit 80% of the most violent crimes in this country are white supremacists. Yet
people always want to hype DC up and want to come to DC so bad, but this the shit we deal with. This the shit I wake up to in the morning. My fucking window's busted out when I'm trying to go to fucking work. Shit is fucking insane. When he says, oh, you know, it's Liberation Day and all of these things, those are, you know, ways of him saying, oh, it's white power, it's what I want to do. Those are racist remarks. His number one targets are cities that are led by black mayors. His number one targets are cities that are sanctuary cities that, you know, support immigration.
You don't need to do anything. Walk away. I said no to you. I said no.
Why are you being like that?
Because you asked to play my guitar. I said no. I did simply say no, and you kept asking. You said why, and I said cause I said so. That's why. All right, I know. Clearly.
Don't talk about what you gonna do about it like you big and bad. Like
no, you saying why, bro? What are you like 16, man? Bro, get lost. Get lost. Oh, all right, I can't make you. All right. Look at, listen to your girl, man. Hey, I'm sorry. Oh.
What's up? What's up? Nigga, what the fuck? No!
That's what the chain of command is now? What does that mean?
What the fuck they're doing? Do you understand that?
There was another shooting here on 60th and V just yesterday morning. And while that night, the police chief, the interim police chief, Smith, stated that we are not in a war zone. I know those who live here know that we are clearly in a war zone. I'm gonna say it again, we are clearly in a war zone. If you don't know you are in a war zone, that means you haven't been here. I went to one crime scene where there were 106 rounds on the ground, right there in Parkchester. I went to another crime scene on the 2300 block of Savannah Street Southeast, where there were 113 rounds on the ground. We are in a war zone. And those who have not been affected by it directly, you will be directly or indirectly if we don't do something now. Bad things happen when good people do nothing.
Understanding what ends up having people become criminally impacted really informs so much of what I do legislatively, right? So when people are like, oh, you know, crime is terrible, and yes, it is, right? Like, because when somebody goes out and commits a crime, they don't typically, you know, say, well, I'm a D or I'm an R or I'm an I. It's not like literally like, it's about, well, how do you fix it? How do you make communities safer? And I do think that I'm in a unique situation because I was having the conversations with people that were going out and committing crimes. And So I understood what was kind of pushing them there. And so I do want people to know that just because someone has committed a crime, it doesn't make them a criminal. That is completely different. Being a criminal is more so about your mindset. Committing a crime can come for a lot of different reasons.
Did you get what you wanted? Did you get what you wanted? Yeah. This is what you wanted, huh? He won. I hope you got exactly what you wanted. I hope you got exactly. And you know what? For all of the black people who were quote unquote mad at the Democratic Party because they wouldn't give you reparations or they wouldn't promise you a black-focused vote or whatever it is. I hope you get Trump, who's not going to promise you anything. He's going to take you back to slavery. I hope he calls you monkey. I hope he calls you jigaboo and a spook. I hope he calls you monkey twice. I hope buck breaking comes back. I hope they call all the black women mammies. I hope all of that happens so you can see what you asked for. I hope that all the Mexicans who were afraid of illegal immigrants just as much as the other people were, I hope those people get sent back to their country. Yeah. I hope all of the Hispanics in Miami-Dade who were just afraid of communism because they came from a country that was just ravaged by it, I hope that they get shown what it looks like to really be ravaged. I hope they get sent back on boats. I hope they have to swim back. I hope their back is going to be wet all over again. That's what he's going to make you do. He's going to make you swim all the way back. Yeah, all those people in Michigan who didn't support Kamala Harris because she wouldn't say the word weapons embargo. Yeah, I hope they're forced to go through what happened right after 9/11. Yeah, flight risks all of you. He's gonna put all of you in internment camps. Because that's what you wanted, right? You wanted to be in an internment camp. You wanted that, right? That's what you wanted. I hope everybody who had religious values and so that they wouldn't support Kamala Harris, I hope you get forced to have babies. I hope your father assaults you and therefore you're forced to have the baby that you wanted so badly. I hope that's what happens to you. I hope you get every racial epithet and I hope you get all of the disrespect that you deserve. Because remember that people like us tried to stop stuff like that and you wouldn't listen. So I hope they call you a monkey, a spook, a jigaboo, and I can't even say the other words because I'll get banned. So thank you. Have a good day. I didn't even vote for the motherfucker. What the fuck did I do?
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Wherever this video finds you, welcome to Tex. I'm sitting here with my kombucha pineapple peach. I know I've developed a taste for these things. It's like pho. It's an acquired taste. Yeah, like drinking the world's worst soda. But those microbiotics, you need them. What's going on, Detroit? No news. All right, so I'm going to keep this Trump thing quiet. We'll probably review it if we have enough time, but I found that when I have Trump in the background in my shorts, oh my God, my shorts blow up. At any rate, so I need to talk to my brothers about this because I want y'all to understand where I'm coming from. Because, I mean, quick background. I've been doing this conscious stuff since I was 15 years old. I turned 54 last Tuesday. Been at this for a very long time. This is where my background actually comes in. If you've ever heard of Cultural Communications, the video/bookstore, that was our store. If you've been in the space, in the conscious space for that long, since, you know, since 91 on up, watching them lectures on VHS tapes and everything, that was us. This is why I come at Umar so hard, because he desecrated the whole lecture circuit that we revived back in the 90s and early 2000s. He desecrated that by just being a man whore and a beggar and a scammer. But I digress. This isn't about him. This is about us. I need for us to understand something here, because I mean, we're at a critical juncture right now, and we're still clinging to mommy's apron strings as black men. We're still waiting for mommy to love us and hug us and tell us that she's proud of us and give us that pat on the head. Because understand that black society, black community, now society, ever since slavery was instituted in this country, has always been a matriarch. Always been a matriarch. We had a brief moment of time post-slavery up until I would say 1968. Let's say from 1920 to 1968. That was the black man's time to shine. We were building something. We had communities. We had businesses. You understand? There was no, the black dollar only stays in the black community for a minute. No. The black dollar circulated. You went to Leroy to get your car done at Leroy's reputable mechanic shop. You went to Mr. Johnson, Farmer Johnson's grocery store. You understand? You went to Jesse's home build to get your house built, garage built. Black men paved your roads. Black men did your grass. Black men ran households. Doesn't matter the tumultuous times, the Alice Walker color purple black woman's S&M fantasies. Throw that garbage out the window. We were running things. We're running things. We were in charge. And when we fought because of Emmett Till, somebody that could have been our son, it was enough. That was it. We were done. Emmett Till was the last straw. We had the civil rights movement. And MLK, remember, he once said, I fear that I may be leading my people into a burning house. Do you know what that was born out of? That was born out of him hearing the rumblings coming from black people around him and on the grassroots level, was that they couldn't wait to start spending their money in white stores. And he was like, hold up, that's not what this is about. This is not about you itching to get that white pat on the head, or because you felt the white man's ice was colder. That's not what this is about. This is about them not butchering you at a whim. You should be able to go into Bob Johnson's coffee shop and be able to get a coffee without being accosted or having him spit in it. Though keep in mind, these were Democrat policies. Jim Crow were Democrat policies, not Republican, Democrat policies, particularly here in the South. Jim Crow was mainly aimed here in the South. Separate but equal. That should have been our mantra. Separate but equal. That would have been fine. Not segregation, separation. At that time, was just fine. Not segregation, separation. I should be able to drink from the same water fountain as you. That don't mean that I'm going to break my neck to drink from your water fountain. We have the tools and the skills to build our own water fountains. We don't need yours, Democrat. We're good. What they say, the greatest trick the devil pulled was convincing you that he didn't exist. Please explain to me, why did we go from being the Republican Party to Democrats overnight? What exactly made Lyndon B. Johnson say, I have these niggas voting Democrats for 200 years? What was it? What paper, what legislation did he finally get his Democrat buddies to stop filibustering and sign that made him go, whew, we got him. The trick bag. What was it that lasted up until now? What's up, Carl? What was it? Come on. This is call and response. I'm talking to the brothers. Do I need to throw the link up? I'm gonna throw the link. I'm gonna post the link. We're gonna make this community chat because I'm not gonna play these games. He said I came in right on time. Yeah, you did. I had a long intro. Give y'all a chance to catch up. I'm gonna post the link up. Let's have a community chat. What was it? What was the paperwork? What were the privileges that Lyndon B. Johnson granted to the black community that made black people switch parties? What was it? 50 years, black men were in control of black neighborhoods. Well, at least from the offset. What was it? What was it backed by? What white lesbian man-hating feminists stood tall in the center of black people? You could pee next to a white man in the bathroom. What's up, Jim? I ain't see you in a minute. You funny. It was the Homestead Act, which granted welfare to black families minus black men. I mean, we don't really have to go into the details. I mean, we already know this history. We know this history like the back of our hand. Because that history is what destroyed us. Is it not? That act, that piece of legislature destroyed us as not just as a community, but as a people. Look at where we sit now. Look at where we sit now. I mean, don't get me wrong. Back after antebellum slavery from 1920 to 1970, black women were working in Miss Sally's kitchen and lusted and longed and envied her lifestyle, sleeping with her husband, her son, the brother, the uncle, the nephew, having these secret affairs. You get out of line, she tell Billy Bob get his local Klansmen together. Next thing you know, you swinging. You're a human wind chime. Your family, oh, what happened? Oh. Confirming the rumors that your wife was having an affair with the white man. The first thing that happened, and I'm look, listen, understand. Republicans shed blood alongside you to destroy antebellum slavery in the South. We all know very few white people owned slaves. We know this. Let's not all white people owned slaves, and not all white people were with that. They fought a civil war over this shit. The 14th Amendment was created specifically for you. The Civil Rights Act was created specifically for you / us. Affirmative action, the right to vote, the right to own property. All of the greatest political achievements that we have in this country was given to us at the behest of the Republican Party, because we were Republicans. But the second that Lyndon B. Johnson opened up the welfare office to black women, suddenly the political ideology switched, because I guess that was reparations? To sit home and let white zaddy government take care of you and your children? And that destroyed us as a people. Here we are in 2025. We've spent, as black men, we have created movements. Understand something here. Our response to what black women have been doing. First, they tried to silence our voices back in 2017, 18. As far as YouTube, us podcasters, they had a hit list on us. My name was on that list. They had a hit list on us to destroy our channels. And some channels, some people did lose channels. Some of us, or a lot of us, went through shadow banning through YouTube. Shadow banning. Meanwhile, because of Clinton and NAFTA, we were losing jobs. Jobs were being stolen right from under us. You should see Michael Moore's documentary, Roger and Me. What's up, little boy? You said reparations or covert sabotage by Johnson. Yeah, the Democratic Party, it was covert sabotaging. Ronald Reagan tried to get us off of that. Remember, they were offering scholarships to black women who were at least a C student in the 80s. Tried to get us off of that. What wound up happening? These little C student chicks went to college on scholarships, got themselves in debt. This is how the student loan debt crisis started. It started going in debt. And for them, it was easier to have a baby and get on welfare or public assistance by the local neighborhood drug dealer. Some of these chicks were already pregnant with baby or had babies while in high school because of the crack era. Which of course gave birth to the crime bill and completely ended the crack era. The crime bill ended the crack era. The government made their money. Time to throw the Negroes in jail. These women had children by these local thugs, these drug dealers that wound up either dead or in jail. And of course, that began the whole stepdaddy epidemic. Yeah, that began the whole stepdaddy culture, because before then, black men were in the homes. Even when welfare was ravaging our communities, black men, even though they may have been sleeping on a mommy, daddy, or brother's couch, they were still trying to be fathers to their children. But that next generation of welfare babies, they weren't worried about marriage. They were trying to control black men through sex and money. Well, I hate Beyonce today. Go back and listen to them Destiny Child songs. I hated those songs. Whitney Houston, hated her songs. Amazing Talent, hated her song. Madonna, trash music. I'm keeping my baby. I'm gonna keep my baby. Talking about out of wedlock birth. Papa don't preach. We're at the point now. Yeah, Papa don't preach. Yeah, you remember. I mean, the 90s were just terrible. You had people like, I never listened to their music except Madonna some. I mean, you know, Boy George was, unfortunately, Boy George's Faith album. Oh, that was a banger. George Michael, excuse me. George Michael's album was a banger. That Faith album, oh, it was a bang. He had some bangers. Him and Michael Jackson. TLC. Oh, TLC, man. I went back and listened to the original TLC album. It was straight trash. It was straight garbage. It was just too. I was like, I can't believe I thought that this was music. Oh, not Wham. Yeah, Johnny Gill. You guys are running through the music. Y'all running through. Here I go. There we go. There. Oh, here I come. Right back in. All right, let's stop. You're throwing me off. You guys are throwing me off. I'm trying to be serious here, but I guess we need some some levity. I mean, hell, this was before we knew R. Kelly, who R. Kelly turned out to be, you know? Yeah, exactly. Look, R. Kelly. What we found out. What we found out. Man, at any rate, I mean, we had some good music, but we had some for the women, it was crippling. It was mentally crippling music. But outside of that, we had people like Montel Jordan, Oprah. Well, Jerry Springer was really entertainment. But as far as like black people, we had Montel and Oprah feeding us garbage. They were feeding us garbage. They were lying to us. They were causing further division to the point where they just started Rolanda. Oh, her show didn't really last. See, then I had nightmares from these female singers. But then you got to a point where it was all about black female empowerment, and the black male was being left behind. We were being left behind to the point where black women started distancing themselves from us. They started thinking that they were, since we couldn't be their slaves, they felt that they were better than us. They thought that they were a separate class from us. They were a separate type of black from us. That's when they started coming after us on social media, mainly YouTube, started coming after our channels. They had totally went plumb crazy. And from that, you had Manosphere channels that were born, you know, the Manosphere. And then, of course, that wound up evolving to Passport Bros, which was really just dudes going overseas to trick on women for $40. You know, I mean, I can't be, never mind. Well, Vivica told Ice Cube they are their own demographic. Yeah. But what about black women? Aren't black women black people? No. What? I mean, the look on Ice Cube's face when she said no, you know that she scrapped his contract with Black America thing. Trump was the only one that wanted to see it. You say, I think if Kamala won, they would have made black women their own race. Dude, if there was no telling where we would be sitting right now on September 19th, 2025, where we would be sitting as a country right now. I really do think that we probably would be in a full-blown civil war. You know, Vivica's shilling for the car shield. Y'all crazy. With her BBL at 60-something years old. Just gross. She looked like that Madame puppet with the high cheekbones. That's what she looked like, a black version of that with a BBL. Oh, girl. Anyway. Yeah, we started creating our own factions. We started creating our own factions, and they created their own factions. You know, swirling culture just exploded to the point where, yeah, you know the Madame puppet. You know what I'm talking about. The old reference for those of y'all born in the 70s, 80s, 90s. At any rate, let's get back on track. They started swirling to the point where they were getting chopped up in basements, in sex dungeons, started dying of fentanyl, trying to have one-night stands, started getting deleted while tricking with illegals. Do you understand? Making whole social media channels about their interracial dating. I mean, the Crystal and Kerosene clones just exploded. Black men stopped being stepfathers. Well, I wouldn't say for the most part, but the talk was so big that it wound up exposing that. He said Gary Heidnick in Philadelphia had a dungeon full. Yeah. That black women basically became prostitutes, following in behind white liberal females. They wound up becoming prostitutes on OnlyFans. Not just OnlyFans, but I mean, the embarrassment that they displayed on these podcasts. I mean, as much as I detest Fresh and Fit, they really did show the ugly underbelly of today's young black female. to the point where these YNs, as we call them, these dudes, they don't even want to sleep with these chicks. They'd rather go out and commit all types of grisly crimes than lay up with a chick. And, you know, if you notice, very few black on black crime murders happen to be over females now. It's usually over some type of violent crime outside of a female. If you've noticed that, if you've been paying attention the past couple years, very few violent crimes between in black society is over a female. Dudes arguing over women. That used to be a big problem. Black mommy's boyfriend killing the kids or abusing the kids. That used to be a big thing up until what, past 4 years. Now it's mommies killed the kids, mommies abused the kids, the female teachers abuse the kids. Meanwhile, the males are out here committing all sorts of violent crimes, from robbery to murder. But you very rarely hear about them forcing struggle snuggles. That's decreased. You very rarely hear about the blue pill simp rage over a female. That's very rare now, because these young brothers, they totally given up. I mean, of course you have the Travis Hunters of the world, but collectively you don't have these stories anymore. If you've noticed, not as a whole, just scroll your local news. Go to all types of local news. You'll no longer hear about, oh, he came home and caught his girlfriend in bed and shot her, him, and the dog. No, you don't hear that no more. It's very rare you hear those stories. I mean, that's a sexual genocide, just so you know. A lot of these women are not really, I mean, you still have these low IQ Pookie, Ray Rays, Glocktavius, and Felantonios, but it's not as much as it used to be. Glocktavius and Felantonio would rather be Glocktavius and Felantonio, if you know what I mean. And this is the youth. Right. They're unaliving each other over drugs and junk food, over rap beef, social media beef. I mean, you just had the one dude who, of course, unalived his underage girlfriend. She ran away at 13. They found her body when she's supposed to be 15. These YNs are sleeping with their shirtless homie. Yeah. Pulling a Myron, taking pictures with other dudes shirtless and hugged up and everything in hotel rooms. They pulling a Myron. Do you not understand? We're at a critical juncture. We're at a critical juncture, and all you can do up and down, as far as people that are like 35 up, that have these social media accounts, you know, YouTubes and whatnot, all y'all can do is sit here and complain about relationships as far as, why won't she love me? Like, dude, you're past your prime. And the dudes you're talking to, the young dudes that you're trying to reach, they're not thinking about these chicks. They're just not. They're just not. You say, meanwhile, Fresh and Fit, which they calling them tethers, is live right now talking about crypto. Look, I've been saying for a minute, we need to worry. Look, if you stop, I asked this question. Okay. When you're done talking about vagina, what's the next step? What is your next subject? What are you talking about next? Nobody could answer the question. I heard you ain't gay if you keep your ski mask on. You keep your shiesty on. You thugging. Give me that thugging love. Man, y'all wild. The Boondocks did not lie. They were prophetic, were they not? They kiss it. They kiss it. They did not lie. Aaron Magruder was a prophet. Let's get back on track. Understand here. You sitting up here calling people racist for simply because they not kissing your black ass on social media. They tell you the truth. They hold a mirror up to your community and like, this is what we see. But they're racist. Anybody that says anything about black society that's not kissing black society's ass, y'all call them racist. Even though y'all talk about these people all day, every day, for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and in between meal snacks, calling them all types of racists and scumbags and mayo beasts and all of this garbage. And then when they clap back at you with some facts, suddenly you want to clutch your little pearls. Shut up. Just shut up. Just shut up. We're at a point now where with black Democrats, crime is legal. Black Democrats think crime is legal and that being held accountable for criminal activity is racist. Charlie Kirk, because I listened to the interview. I don't listen to the clips. I listen to the full interview because I want the context. Because there's no way in hell he was running around the past 4 years saying what he was saying in the cancel culture world that we have without being canceled. And he said that civil rights was a mistake for black people. It was a mistake for black people. And the reason why he said that was because he's like, hey, look what happened to y'all immediately after civil rights. Like, you became the poorest people in this country. What happened? What happened? He said after 1968, what happened that made you all become the poorest people in this country? What was it? What was it? Of course, he put the blame on MLK, but like I said, MLK said, I fear I may be leading my people into a burning house. And that's exactly what happened. And do understand, they didn't assassinate MLK because, I had a dream. No, MLK started talking about reparations and stockpiling weapons and everything. Go back and listen to that last speech. He was in that church. He was talking about, the time for turning the other cheek is over. We need to arm ourselves, and get ready, because now it's time to fight for the reparations. And that's when they took him out. And the movement was co-opted by people like Messy Jesse Jackson, who people say when MLK was shot, he put his hands in the blood and put it on his shirt and ran outside. Oh, I was holding him in my arms when he was shot. Oh my God, I'm the new leader now. He was the Starscream. He was Starscream. What's up, Cynthia? What y'all say? Hold on. Questions. Did the Republican primary against slavery? Did the Republican primarily against slavery because it was ethically wrong, or because crippling it would give them advantage over Democrats? Actually, it was all over finances. Because what happened was you had immigrants coming in from different countries, and then you had escaped blacks along with free blacks were all in the northern colonies, the original 13 colonies, and the jobs were not popping like that. So a lot of, and the messed up part about it was the blacks coming out of slavery, the escaped blacks coming out of slavery had skills that the immigrants didn't have. That's why you was getting race riots back then. The poverty and the crime and the violence, the racial violence that was going on back then. Lincoln was like, we can't have this. Y'all need that. Y'all down in the South with all those good jobs that y'all could be paying people to do. Not to mention the white people that were fleeing the South because they couldn't work. It was a matter of economics. I mean, I'm not even going to lie to you about that. Yesterday, a 17-year-old was deleted by ATF. He was a good kid, shot in the back. Today comes out, he shot first while running away. Crickets by the community. Of course, don't nobody want to hear that. In Pittsburgh. Yeah, that Pittsburgh situation. Y'all ever hear about them cops shot in Pittsburgh all over? It was a crazy, jealous ex-boyfriend. Saying the unions were another way to keep the former enslaved out of jobs. Yeah. Because we were better skilled than a lot of them. We had to make our own jobs. Exactly. That's why after antebellum slavery, as black people, we had our own. That's why we hold up Tulsa, Oklahoma as the shining light. MLK is talking about bringing back the Black Wall Street and the black communities. Yep, he ambushed them from a cornfield. Yeah, but MLK was like, yo, we need to get this money. We need to get this money. And they took him out because of that. And they took out Malcolm X because he was a violent revolutionary. Or at least he spoke of violence as far as they were concerned. He wasn't of the turn the other cheek variety. Same reason why they took out Khalid Muhammad. He was not a turn the other cheek guy, whereas Farrakhan was all about the money. Farrakhan is good for giving you fiery speeches. I mean, of course, it's been a while since he gave a good speech than anybody, the quote unquote president of Black America, as people dubbed him. It's been a couple years ever since he gave that whole LGBTQ inclusion speech. The people were done. The people were done. I know jobs are hiring immigrants from different countries and they based out of Illinois. If them people ain't got their paperwork right, they can forget it. See, the black community will rage if a cop shoots a black person, but cannot show the same energy when they're only shot by someone like them. You know what? I'm gonna get into that whole black on black crime thing that we tend to act like doesn't exist, or if somebody black brings it up, then they a coon. You know what I'm saying? I'm so sick of that shit. We didn't need degrees to build wealth like they have you believe today, right? Because the wealth is in the blue collar jobs. If you're a plumber or a trucker or an electrician or a carpenter, bruh, you can set your own price, especially if you're good. It's really based on your skill level. You can have a roof up in 30 seconds. You can name your own price. You can set your own price, and you'll eat good. Yeah, that's right. Plus, Malcolm was going to petition the world body and UN for black human rights, not that civil rights BS. Exactly. Malcolm was going strictly on that. He wanted to charge the United States for inhumane treatment of black people by the United States for worldwide. I mean, we talking about serious racism. They had to take him out. He was not a turn the other cheek. He was about getting stuff done. You see, after the reaction of MLK to Malcolm X assassination, black folks went into hiding. Even Martin Luther King knew that welfare was a trap. He said so. I watched the video today. He said so. Say, but the thing is, the UN is the United States. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, back then you really didn't see it that way, but you see it that way now. But MLK spoke that you say the preacher said to stand down. Well, yeah, because I mean that would have been a physical fight we would have lost. Even today, it's a physical fight. We're not ready for. We will not win that fight. We will never win a physical fight here in the United States. You can forget it. The Spook Who Sat by the Door was a good fantasy movie. You'd have short-term success just like Hamas did in Israel. You'll have short-term success because you'll catch them by surprise. But then again, I still say to this day that Israel led October 7th. I still say today that they had the intelligence, they let it happen, and they used it as a springboard to finally take over the Gaza. It was their final push. That was a big mistake by Hamas. We would have to deal with other blacks during the race war. Yeah, because I tell you right now, I'm not Democratic. I was up until Obama's first. let me tell you when I burned my Democrat card, figuratively speaking. When Cornel West, no, it wasn't Cornel West. It was Cornel West is a moron. That dude's a homeless dude in a suit. Skip Gates. I mean, I look back on it now and I realized that, I realized it was pretty much that it was a setup. Skip Gates supposedly came back from vacation, didn't have his keys. He was able to get into his house. Somebody called the police because, his neighbors, you would think in the exclusive neighborhood, see, you burned yours at the Beer Summer. Yeah. You would think that the Skip Gates neighbors know who Skip Gates is. Come on. So the neighbor called the police. Black man breaking in the house. But of course, the cop showed up. It's Skip Gates. Skip Gates get mouthy with the cop because the cop wanted the proof of, just doing his job. Well, can I see some ID? I don't know you, bruh. I'm Skip Gates. Who the fuck? I don't know who you are. And I'm Bob Johnson. Do you know me? No, I don't know you. Can I see some ID? Skip got mouthy. The cop arrested him for disorderly conduct. It became a whole thing. So Obama and, of course, Obama, remember he said the cop stupidly arrested, about him, Skip Gates, and cop was like, well, I didn't vote for him. And then they got together, Obama, Biden, and the cop got together on the White House lawn and had a beer and discussed. And then after that, black people, mainly black men, were judicially lynched for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and in between meal snacks. And Obama made body cams mandatory. And then we watched nothing but snuff films as he did absolutely fucking nothing for the next 7 3/4 years. Yeah, ain't too many blacks in Cambridge. Yeah, so I was done with Obama, especially when he sung that Negro spiritual at the funeral of those 9 black people that Dylan Roof shot. Another Democrat with Confederate flags. Y'all need to understand who the hell your mass shooters are. These people are Democrats. Sang the damn Negro spirituals at these people's funeral. Meanwhile, he behind the scenes more police powers, but he did nothing. I mean, we have hate crime laws on the book, but how many people have been charged for hate crimes against black people? I don't want to touch it. But the thing about it is that after the BLM riots that went down under Trump, because black people were tearing down all these Confederate statues that Trump let black people do without consequence. Because he was like, yeah, go ahead, tear them down. I don't care. Get rid of them. They shouldn't be up anyway. These people lost. They're the biggest losers in American history. Why do these people have statues up? Tear them down. Yeah, the statues went up in the museum, in the Smithsonian. We'll give you back some names, but outside of that, no, tear them down. Obama did nothing. Meanwhile, Trump came into office, cops started getting prosecuted for the things that they were doing to black people. Biden comes in, makes crime legal. And now you have black people who think that committing crimes is okay. That's why you got Jasmine Crockett sitting up here saying, just because you commit a crime don't mean you're a criminal. Bitch, what? Then what does it make you? The police don't she said the police don't solve crimes or prevent crime. Tell that to the folks in DC. Tell that to the folks in Memphis come October 19th. See what they think. Whatever. I swear, man. Black leadership, black Democratic leadership fails us at every turn. See, I burned my Democrat card before Obama was elected. I knew something was wrong when folks in my family wanted to control my thinking and became really invested in trying to educate me on BS. The blue light law, thanks to Obama. There it is. One guy got seriously injured when they took down one of those statues. Red flag laws was during Obama, if I'm not mistaken. Say, will Obama change the military justice code? Sodomy or taking liberties with a small person is illegal. Yeah, in California, if you buy a prostitute and they happen to be 16 years old, you don't go to jail for that. That's legal. You can buy an underage person in California because some of the lobbyists were saying that it would greatly impact the trans community if you criminally charged people for, well, it's not really pedophilia because pedophilia is like under the age of 12. So I forget what they call it, but underage sex crime. If you bought somebody under the age of 18, you can't be charged. It's legal in California now. So if a 16-year-old is being trafficked and you purchase them for an hour, that's legal in California because it would greatly impact the trans community. That tells you all you need to know. You think I'm joking? I'm not. Fat black chicks standing up with a fat white woman. Liberals, Democrats. Oh yeah, I saw that. I was like, he just pretty much ignored her and just hit her with facts and called it a day. Because Jasmine Crockett is nothing but a racist. You say up here, if you get busted at the Ching Chong massage parlor, it's a trafficking bust. Ain't that a blip? And you in Philly, right? I mean, no, you're in Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh. Any rate, let's get back to this. Black women have basically, especially Democratic women, not all, but collectively, they've turned themselves into prostitutes. Yeah, I saw that Shibba Jabba. She cleaned her up her act, at least physically. They pretty much, the Democratic black women have basically turned themselves into prostitutes. They only see black men as walking ATMs. Democratic black women. Keep in mind, we're talking about a 92 percentile. Going after the 77 percentile. 77% percentile. I'm going off of voting numbers, by the way. Out of a 13% population. We all know baby mama culture is out of hand. And as we sat here for years and said, we're not going to be stepdaddies to these kids have just turned into shiesty monsters. Shiesty monsters. Carjacking, mass store robberies, the smash and grabs. Scammers. They just turned into a whole criminal empire. And now in comes Trump. Yeah, the Kia boys, all types of stuff. Now in comes Trump. And y'all believe the Democratic Party, their media, and your mama, because they call them racist, because he's taking away her welfare, her food stamps, her Section 8, all the things that are keeping black people poor. Meanwhile, he's bringing in factory jobs. I mean, do understand, 475 illegals were sent home down here in Georgia because Trump told these companies coming in from overseas, if you're going to build your plants, you need to hire American workers. Yeah, the water boys hacking your Zelle and Cash App with them fake what are those codes? Not a barcode, but you scan those codes. Excuse me. You scan those codes and they wind up being able to hack into your bank account. Yeah, QR. Thank you. Them QR codes. Yeah, I don't scan QR codes. They even do that in parking garages. They slap the fake QR codes on there over the real QR code. If I use the card that I use out here in the streets, I do not use my direct bank card. I use my my Venmo card. I use my Venmo card for all purchases outside of this house. Sometimes online. I do not use my actual bank card. That way, if you hack it, if you call your, you ain't getting nothing. What you gonna get? Like $200? I mean, even if that. What I got on here this morning. Okay, I'm gonna spend this much today. I'm going to the store. Let me add this money over here. Okay, here's $300. All right, let me go do some shopping. You ain't getting nothing. Never use it, right? You ain't getting nothing. You can get Nathan, nothing. Use the hell out of that card. Yeah, Venmo, Chime, Cash App, etc. to protect your bank accounts. Exactly. Say good advice. I mean, that's just common sense. Never use your real bank card out here in the streets. That sucker is like the emergency. You should use it like you use the emergency credit card. Hell no. These brothers now got this stuff. This is why I don't go to Lenox Mall. They now got these pads, these iPads or whatever. They just put it near your wallet or your back pocket or something whatnot, and it pulls up all your information off your debit and credit cards. And then they just go home and they just siphon the money right out of your account. That's the new scammers. Electronic digital scammers. They just walk right by you, just put the bag or the freaking iPad close to your body, steal all your information. New way of pickpocketing. That's why they got them new RF wallets. They block the radio frequencies. Yeah, they got them wallets out now. Good purchases, by the way. Yeah, but leave home without it, okay? Leave home without the main bank card. Anyway, yep, disable Bluetooth on devices. Yeah. But getting back to this. Yeah, those factory jobs, they have to hire American workers, not just to RFID wallet and unlock your accounts at the time of purchase. Yeah, I saw that the ABC news station got shot up right before I came on. The alert was on my an alert from Twitter. We'll take a look at that. Damn, y'all throwing me off, man. Oh, I'm throwing myself off. Because this is a black man conversation. My thing about it is that he's bringing these factory jobs, which really is not, you don't need a high school diploma to work a factory job. A lot of people, especially black men, know how to pour concrete, work a hammer, a nail gun. They know how to build a house, you know what I'm saying, without going to school. You know how to do a picker. It's easy to learn how to drive a forklift. You don't need to kill yourself to know how to do this stuff. You don't need a hold on, let me just wire around that bag. You don't need a forklift to know how to do that stuff. I mean, you don't need a college degree to know how to work a forklift, how to load a truck, how to be a picker, how to drive a truck. Let the women work upstairs in the office jobs. The real money is downstairs in the warehouse. Anybody that's ever worked a warehouse job or a factory job will tell you the real money is down on the floor, because that's the heart of the house. It's where the real money is at. When I worked in the hotel industry, the banquet department made the most money out of every department in there. I think the second most money was made in the kitchen. I work in the line as a chef or a cook. Front of the house made the least amount of money. Yeah, but bringing those jobs in here, those are man jobs. Women ain't gonna be working in them factories like that. Those are man jobs, unskilled labor, man jobs, which is desperately needed in this country right now. I said the other day, like, look, instead of voting for vote blue no matter who, you need to be voting for policy. If they don't have any policies that's directly aimed at your people, well, how can my people take advantage of the policies that this person is talking about financially? Fuck socially. So we saw what happened the past 4 years. Social programs don't work. Social programs don't pay rent. I switched from electrician to factory work temporarily. Majority of the people I work with are just high school grads at $27 an hour starting. Yeah. So far, you got over $1 trillion of companies invested in America as far as those $5 million gold card buy-ins, the Trump card. Yeah, over $1 trillion invested. The jobs are coming. Capitalism does, because money talks. Exactly. That's why he went to Qatar and all these other countries. That's why you had the leader of South Africa who got show him the tape, Wally. You know, you allow racism in your country, and you coming to me and you trying to strike a mineral deal, man. You don't get the fuck up out of here. And use some deodorant, nigga. Let me stop. No, but you see that he ended the war between what? Rwanda and who was the other people? Republic of Congo. He ended that war, 30-year war, because he said, look, y'all chill out. We're going to come to both sides of y'all countries, and we're going to dig up your grounds, and we're all going to split the mineral rights. So what? I'm sorry. So you all can stop fighting now. And they went, okay. Okay. Shrug their shoulders. Okay. Told the reporter, damn, you look good, baby. Let me pinch that right quick. Oh yeah, nice burn. I mean, you know, I'm joking, but seriously though, legislation got us in the situation that we're in right now as a people, and it's going to it took legislation to get us out of it. He didn't completely cancel welfare and Section 8 and food stamps, but he limited food stamps. You have to work 20 hours a week and you get very limited food stamps. You only get Section 8 for 2 years. You only get welfare for 2 years. Get your ass out here and get a job. You're no more, you're after the age of 7, your child no longer gets special benefits that you're living off of. At 7 years old, he's old enough to be a latchkey kid. They're old enough to be latchkey kids. Get out there and get a job. If you're not elderly or disabled, no, this is not for you. It's no longer living off of that. Get your ass to work. Call your baby daddy. How about that? Close your goddamn legs. The welfare hustle is over. Also, the child support hustle is over. In case y'all, I have to remind y'all, he signed this into law back in I would say early February. Where if you have a child, if you're paying child support, you get to file taxes on your child, not the other person. Remember I was talking about whole math? They got to figure it out. Like, damn, dude, is this $300 a month? Do I keep collecting that, or do I tell him to stop paying child support so that way I can claim the kid on my taxes and get a new car that I can tear up in come tax season? Get the money in April, buy the car in April, tear the car up come September. And I'm back in the vicious cycle. Do I do that or what? Or do I keep collecting the child support money? I think in one of these states, it's either Kentucky or Tennessee, where the divorce rate dropped dramatically because they passed a bill that is an automatic 50-50 split with custody, which means there will be no child support because you both have equal custody of the child. So why the hell am I charging one of you child support? Yeah, so divorce is dropped dramatically in that state. Ain't that about a bitch? The hustle is over. Do you understand? You need to be down on your knees thanking this dude. But that's not what's going on. Because you grew up in a democratic, matriarchal ran household, which I call a mess. Just look at the community. You grew up in this mess where you think up is down and left is right. The prolonged exposure to poverty has you as a grown man over the age of 40 thinking that democratic policies are your friend, that welfare and poverty are your friends. You're so comfortable in it that even when somebody comes along to try to fix the situation for you, you bitch, moan, whine, and complain more so than you did while living in your mama's house. There's no way in hell I'm living somewhere where my name is not the principal on the lease, and I'll be damned if I'm financially beholden to somebody. You say divorces are dropping right now because nobody is marrying in the United States and expect black men to go to Africa. You bet not go to Africa. That whole Pan-African thing is probably the biggest lie that black people have been sold. Marcus Garvey, I understand what the hell he was trying to do, but no, brother. No. There's no such thing as Pan-Africanism. You are seen as a human ATM in Africa, just the same as you are in South America, the Philippines, Thailand, or any other place that you call yourself as a black man thinking that you're going to go and get you some $40 pussy. We ain't dumb. Keisha's Keisha worldwide. Yeah. Except the difference is at least she'll make you a plate of food. At least she'll do the laundry. At least she'll raise the kids. But she's still running game. Hell, one of the biggest things that as black men that you should learn is never have assets in your name. You know, you had the soccer player that put all his assets in his mama's name. Tom Brady, his assets aren't in his name. They're like in a trust or something like that. Giselle got nothing. Saw a video of a white guy getting a divorce from his wife, and she thought she was going to get the house. He bought the house, but he bought the house and put the house in his mother's name. And she was like, suddenly changing her mind from the divorce because she realized she was going to have to go out here and get a job. She was going to get nothing. Hell, even if you're a white man in Africa, you just have to be smart about it. You just have to make sure that nothing is in your name and that you have protections. One of the biggest cons that they have going in Africa, you know, since we think we're Pan-Africanists because we listen to Umar, is that they'll tell you that the land that you want to build on. Okay, first, let me back it up. In most countries around the world, in order for you to buy property, to own property or land or a business, it has to be a 50-50 split with a native. when really it's not even a 50-50 split. It's a 100% ownership of the native. They just make you think it's 50-50, because if you get a divorce or the relationship goes bad, goes sour, they don't make you split the business or the house or the land. No, it goes to the native. So they rob you right out. Chicks in Kenya can smell a simp over the message app. Let me tell you how they do it. Okay, you get up with somebody that's a native. They take you to somebody. This is in Africa. They take you to somebody that supposedly own the land or the storefront or whatnot. So you give them this money to buy it. And then you build it up. And once you get it up and running, or nearly up and running, suddenly the real owner pops up. And they complain and they call the police. Then the police, the corrupt police officer, police chief, come and arrest you. And then they blackmail you. Oh, they said you need to come up with, $40K USD to get out of this, or else we're gonna charge you with fraud and theft and whatnot. It's essentially a bribe. It's either that, or you relinquish the property of the business or the land and you go back home. Don't come back. What's it gonna be? And of course, the magistrate is in on the scheme, the scam. So when you go before the judge, you get screwed over, and the U.S. Embassy can't help you because it's a local issue. So you done probably dumped $150K into an investment, and you walk away with nothing. I mean, this is a scam that goes on globally. But definitely in like Africa and the Philippines and South America. Of course, in South America, I mean, they just usually just want, because you go down there for some $40 coochie. So they just go ahead and scopolamine you and call it a day. Usually. Depends on where you go. Or they set you up for a robbery. You're a lick. You're a lick, and they have no problems throwing your dead body off a cliff. You say that's the new scam here. Put up a fake apartment listing and watch the money roll in. Fake houses. Yeah. The owner is a minister that's, out trying to, what do they say? They're on a ministry or something, trying to teach kids in Guatemala how to read and send the money order here, there, whatnot. God bless you. All of this biblical stuff. I'm Pastor Umbuke. They get you, boy. They get you. Craigslist is notorious for that. No, but at any rate, to bottom line, that my point is that as black men, we complain about the situations that we're in. And we literally cannot do anything about it because we're not in the position of power to do anything about it. But in order to gain the power, your personal power, you have to get your finances up. You can't do shit from the couch. Even Sergeant Willie Pete said, how you gonna rule the world on $10 an hour? Like, you can't. You have to get your money up. When I used to do the financial shows, I done told, look, I had like virtually no money in crypto until election night. And we did a lot of broadcasts on election night, and they were talking about how Bitcoin was skyrocketing because Trump was winning the presidential election. I dumped $150 in Bitcoin. I'm over 2,100K. I'm sorry. I'm over 2,100K. Not 21,000, but 2,100. I'm over 2,100K right now since Trump got elected off 150K in Bitcoin. I told people, I said, yo, $20 can change y'all life. Y'all been with me the longest. Y'all know I used to do the financial shows. I realized I was wasting my time. Because if you don't want to say PS4 will guide us, oh, you made me bang my elbow on my keyboard. That was so funny. PS4us. No, but I told brothers $20 could change your life. Instead of buying a 6-pack of beer or a pack of cigarettes or that weed or whatnot, whatever little vice you have, dump that money dump it in the Bitcoin. Those of you that got more money, remember I used to do the investment shows. They're on my Patreon. Invest in stocks and then just sit back and just watch the shit grow. Let it grow. Trump was telling you, hey, look, this is what's going on. We're investing in this, that, and the other. NVIDIA was struggling for a minute. They done got their factories up. NVIDIA, I'm cleaning up. U.S. Steel merged with Nippon Steel, Japanese Steel. It's up and down because, they got to find their footwork, but it's fine. Tesla stock is doing well. Entertainment purposes only. I'm waiting on Apple to get their shit together. The little dating apps, little fake girlfriend, them AI girlfriend apps that came out 3 years ago that I invested in, please. Them suckers have never went red on me. Never went red on me. They've stayed in the green, just steady growing and growing and growing and growing and growing. You say it did shoot up over 120K before and after Trump was elected. Yeah, a lot of black folks don't like financial talk. Actually, even 39 cents would change your life with XRP. Yeah, I'm not giving up my cans of 211. Y'all stupid. Yeah, but and like you said, a lot of black folks don't like financial talk, but they always complaining. Like they rather talk about how some imaginary white man is holding them back, or how somebody that is not kissing black ass that's talking about the black society is racist. Everybody's racist, even though they talk more shit about white people than ever. Then somebody holds a mirror up to your ass and you can't take it. Suddenly now they racist. I just ask them to prove it. And they can't. Don't tell me what you heard. Show me the proof. You got black people getting kicked out of college and getting fired left and right because they want to label somebody racist. It's a new day. White folks is not playing with you no more. Over 300,000 black women lost their jobs. What do you think is about to happen to these women? I wound up finding those videos of the girl who went from trying to sell feet pics to begging for donations and then suddenly threatening and talking about committing self-deletion with 2 kids instead of turning her kids over to her children's fathers because she probably sperm jacked somebody and want nothing to do with them. I mean, you have to understand those women, single mothers, are very, very selfish, especially when they do it because they're trying to use the kids to survive off of. Unfortunately, they wind up finding out that you don't qualify. You don't qualify for benefits. Or unfortunately for you, as of the end of 2023, a lot of houses and apartment complexes across the United States stop taking Section 8 because all you do is tear the shit up and the government does not reimburse these people for repairs. So they say no. They have to repair the stuff out of their own pocket. And it just don't be worth it. They be watching their properties go to shit. Y'all seen them eviction videos I used to do last year under Embrace Villainy, and it was usually Section 8 tenants, and the places were just, I mean, god damn. People confuse me and call the end with actual racism. Time to fix some binds like Nate. Sperm jacks with Section 8, and now it's been limited. Yeah, it's time. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of chicks in a bind. Nate. And no, I think the cutoff age will probably be like 45, 50. 45. Let's go with 45. These cougars gonna be on the hunt for these young dudes. I mean, look at Drea Michelle, 40-something years old, getting knocked up by a dude the same age as her son, who she abused as a child. Now they're getting she out here in the streets fighting with him, trying to destroy his legacy. She out here looking like that white girl chasing what was the black dude that they fired from Marvel? I forget his name. They got him on security cam running down the street. This chick chasing them behind him. Yeah, that's how dude looked with Drea Michelle. He walking away and she just chasing them behind him, trying to get all up physical with him, and her friends got to restrain her drunk ass. Jonathan Majors, thank you. Say it's going to explode late November, early December. Yeah, because rent is due. Yo, Stu. Stu Keisha. Yo, rent due, mother sucker. I ain't taking no BJs. I need the money. See, I'm roaming the hood with cat food and packing the pins. Y'all are dumb. Yeah, Jonathan Majors. Yeah, she chasing him like the white girl was chasing Jonathan Majors. I mean, that brother was trucking down the street. He looked like Batman with that, with his trench coat flapping in the midnight wind, and she just chasing him behind her. You get back here. She looked like a crackhead trying to get her $20. No, as black men though, I urge y'all, I deplore y'all, I implore y'all, please leave the Democratic Party. Stop watching Democratic media. I mean, again, man, the fucking top of the mountaintop in the 90s of the conscious community. I went to sleep when I moved to Ohio in 2002. I'm back now. I'm fully awake. I'm back in my home environment. I'm not blaming white folks and racism for my problems because they're not my problem. I am my own problem, not some white man. Again, I keep using this analogy. There's no white man. When I come out of my room, there's no white man sitting at my kitchen table pouring me a cup of coffee. Hey, so I got my sheet of racisms I'm going to do to you today. You got your three basic racisms today. Yes. Yeah, there's no such thing. A lot of us don't even really deal with white folks like that, but you always complaining about them. Shut the fuck up. You sound like a bitch. You sound like your mama. You're talking with your mama's mouth when all you do is sit here and complain about white supremacy, even though you don't even deal with white people like that. The black people that are losing their jobs over the Charlie Kirk shit, they're lucky they didn't get their asses whooped with the egregious actions we've seen them do at these memorials for this dude. Because we know if that was us and some white man or white woman was acting a fool like that, let's say, who do black folks care about? Okay, let's say Cat Williams was murdered and white folks was making fun of it, and we're having a memorial for Cat Williams, and some lone white chick come up talking crazy like that. That's why your homie dead. She'd have got stomped the fuck out by the whole crowd. Yes or no? Some white dude like, oh yeah, Cat Williams took one of the neck. He took one of the neck. In a crowd of us. Bruh, you going to sleep. Freedom of speech does not mean freedom from consequences. His church goat was like the spawn king. Yeah, you say most not even know who Kirk was. Right, they just heard that he was racist and saw a cut up clip on TikTok or whatnot. But we sat up here and did a 3-hour show going over his debates with black people, and it was like the only thing that I disagreed with was that it's not black men leaving black women to be single mothers. Like, no, bruh, brothers is getting sperm jacked. You may know the statistics of what's going on in black society, but you don't know the nuances like we do. Somebody should have told you that, but you were talking to dumb young black people who don't know shit from Shinola. You were talking to Amanda Seals types. Don't know shit. Took an African American studies course and think that they Malcolm X. Say now there's a video of these pro-blacks walking around in New York City, death chanting his name. Oh, I saw them BLM people saying F Charlie Kirk, he was a racist and all that stuff. And like, look, first off, you know what? When black people do that, they just want attention. You say no Anton Daniels will cover him from harm. I disagree a lot of what he said. Well, you can disagree all you want to, but we talk about the same thing that he said. He says debates were scripted to a set conclusion with lots of acting. Well, you got to understand, Charlie Kirk didn't just pop up the past year or two doing this. He been doing debates since he was a teenager. That's why everybody knows him. That's why he got so many Republican friends. And some liberal, believe it or not. If you actually sit down and watch his debates like I did on this channel last week, you'd be like, oh, well, yeah, like we say that shit. We say that shit. But because it's coming out of the mouth of a white man, it's considered racist. How dare he talk about black on black crime and black single motherhood? How dare he? As if it's some goddamn secret. The fuck out of here. The fucking internet. Nothing is a secret. They looking at it. They watching it. They see your behavior. Who do you think coined the phrase black fatigue? What the shit? You say we grew up with Rush Limbaugh and Paul Harvey before that. Yeah, I mean, you know, at any rate. Yeah, who was the guy? Neil Borsch. They had Neil Borsch now here in Atlanta, a conservative radio host. Neil Borsch. I think the funniest skit he ever did was with I forget the black dude's name, where they were Boo got shot. Look that up on YouTube. Boo got shot. That shit is hilarious. That is hilarious. That was probably the funniest skit I've heard on radio. Boo got shot. They had the black guy. This guy named Boo got shot. It was a real news story. A guy named Boo got shot. They interviewed this black chick, and you couldn't understand what the fuck she was saying at all. I mean, she was hooded out. So he got the black guy. He got the black guy to interpret what she was saying, because he had the black co-host, black dude, and he had the black guy interpret what she was saying, you know, so white people could understand it. It was hilarious. Boo got shot. That was funny. I swear to God, that's one of the funniest skits. No, but I digress. I implore black men to lead the Democratic Party. Like, just totally leave it. Because you're listening to people like Destiny and these crazy white lesbian man-hating feminists, these blue-haired whales with these septum rings. You're listening. These are who you're getting. These are who your black women are getting their marching orders from. You listen to your black leaders and your black Democratic leaders, and they sound like complete buffoons. They sound like stepping fetching coons. They're ridiculous. Jasmine Crockett and her blackface. Damn it. I'm trying to think of the bald head guy in Congress right now. The one they called Dollar Tree Obama. This dude is feckless as hell. Feckless. Him and the other one, the bald head guy. I can't even think of their names. They're so unimportant. Cory Booker. Yeah, Cory Booker and Hakeem Jeffries. Thank you, guys. Yeah, those guys are just feckless. I mean, good Lord. They look like snakes. These guys are screwballs. They're no leaders. If you call that black leadership, that's what you call black leadership. I grew up around real black leaders. Khalid Muhammad was a black leader. Phil Valentine was a black leader. You understand? Yosef Ben Yochanan was a black leader. Francis Cress Welsing was a black leader. Dr. John Henrik Clarke, those were black leaders. These people today, they're not black leaders. These people are minstrel shows pretending to be leaders. They're not your friends. They do absolutely nothing for you. They put everybody else before you. You come dead fucking last. But yet you still support this party that has done nothing but destroy you and denigrate you. I'm not saying be conservative. I'm saying be independent. I'm independent. I think for my goddamn self. You don't tell me what to do. You don't tell me what to do. But I like your policies way more than I like these people's policies. So yes, as long as your policies are in line with my core beliefs, then I got you. I'll rock with you. So you telling me as black men that your core beliefs is pedophiles in schools and sterilizing children and having men and women's spaces and protecting criminal illegals that like to rape and murder little girls for sport, sell fentanyl, take over neighborhoods through gang violence because they're cartel members, and the utter destruction of society. Is those are your core beliefs? I mean, I believe that's what it is, because anybody that steps outside of those core beliefs, y'all call a coon or some type of race traitor or something. You sound real ridiculous. Yeah, Wes Moore, slick hair Al Green, caveman Al Green. Excuse me. Notice how Democratic Congress aren't speaking up against Israel, but they have smoke with Putin. Man. You know what it is? It's because it's the whole thing with Putin is a smokescreen, because they just keep wanting to quote unquote fund the war with Ukraine so they could get their slush money. Remember, Biden would sit up there, we're giving $250 billion to Ukraine. And then, of course, come to find out, Zelensky was like, I ain't seen no 250 billion. I saw like 5. 5 billion. I ain't seen no 250 billion. And then, of course, when they did the whole Doge cuts, Elon sat up there and was like, yo, you'd be surprised that how many members of Congress, you never ask yourself how you have members of Congress who make an average salary of $200,000 a year have tens of millions of dollars in their bank accounts. It never dawned on y'all. What's up, ABM? It never dawned on y'all where the money, how these people got rich. Never dawned on y'all. It ain't just stocks, Nancy Pelosi. It ain't because your husband suddenly decided to open up a winery, Ilhan Omar. Your failed businessman husband who can't do shit right. All of a sudden now, he's a successful winery, successful vineyard now. Are you kidding me? This dude can't have a successful Subway sandwich shop in a gas station. And suddenly now he got y'all got a $30 million business just like that overnight. By the way, she's about to get, I'm gonna tell you right now, she said some foul shit about Charlie Kirk. Understand that was the president and the vice presidents and the Republicans, that was their friend. That was their friend. They've been knowing this guy since he was like a teenager. He was their friend. She said some foul shit. They voted to have her censured and kicked off a lot of committees. The vote I think she won by like 2 votes. And then the next day, Trump came out and said, bitch, I know you committed immigration fraud with your brother. Because then she came out, it was like after that vote, she came out and got even nastier with Charlie Kirk. And Trump said, oh, I know what you did with your brother. I know you skirted immigration law with your brother. When you get on Trump's radar, you can forget it. You can forget it. She about to get up out of here. You say, okay, so Doge found all this misappropriated money, but nobody went to jail, correct? Well, you haven't been here, Jibba. And I don't know if you've been listening to the re-podcast, but I've been really pissed off with what was going on with Pam Bondi. I was pissed off severely with Pam Bondi because I was seeing zero interaction as far as what the hell is going on. You got the guy who shot and killed Gretchen Whitmer up there in Minnesota and her husband and the dog. He also shot 2 other congressional leaders or 2 other politicians. They survived, but they didn't. He had a hit list. They found a hit list in his car. He wrote a letter to Kash Patel just in case, because he thought he was going to get away. He was going to either get away or delete himself. So he let Kash Patel know who the leader of the operation was, which is, of course, Tim Walz. Tim Walz is a scumbag. I don't trust that dude for nothing. But yet, again, I was pissed off. I'm like, where's this investigation on Tim Walz at? The FBI hasn't brought him in? What is going on? All these Democrats out here talking reckless and crazy? What is going on? But, you know, when I took my break, I had to sit back and look at the whole picture. And Trump, the other day, alluded to what was really going on. He kind of let the trick bag slip. He was like, oh, we got a lot of Democrats under investigation. That's why Jeanine Pirro, got elected as the Attorney General, the special prosecutor out there in Washington, D.C. All right? Because you see with Letitia James, the prosecutor out there over Letitia James' case didn't want to prosecute her. So Trump was going to fire her. So instead of her firing, the chick stepped down. You know, I mean, these motherfuckers are dirty. So you need a bull shark to go in there that has no problem prosecuting these people, especially in DC. That's why Pirro was hired. Pirro, whatever her name is. Y'all know who the chick is. That chick looked like the grandma that would break out the switch on your ass, the braided switch. Does she not? She break out the braided switch. Pam Bondi and Kash Patel, and this is why he's been busy. They've been secretly launching an investigation into members of Congress. And the members of Congress, I don't think they're going to drop the bomb on them until they start clearing out these illegals, because there's a reason why the Democrats are fighting to keep these criminal illegals in the country, these cartel members, because that's who they're taking payments from. I mean, why else would Brandon Johnson be doing what the hell he's doing? Michelle Wu, the guy out in Denver, and especially Karen Bass and Gavin Newsom. These people are criminal cartels. Kathy Hochul. Tim Walz is tied up with the CCP. That came out during his congressional hearing when they had the governors up in there. Found out he was tied with the CCP. So you have to get the foot soldiers out of the way first. The criminal illegals, you got to get them out of the way first. On the way, lock up these YNs with warrants. That's why crime is down in DC, because these people with criminal warrants, yeah, they let the DC police, they assisted the DC police. We'll go with you when you go pick these pieces of shit up. Like I said, you don't want to be in front of the Trump justice system in 2025. But it's happening. They did away with cashless bail. So your ass is going to jail. And no, you're not getting reduced sentences. We're not lessening your charges. None of that shit. You're going to federal prison. They are not playing. It's the new crime bill. Once you get them out of the way, then you can go ahead and start filing the charges against these members of Congress, because they don't have anybody that could help them form an insurrection, a real insurrection, not somebody with protest signs walking through the Capitol, but real armed insurrection, because they want a civil war so badly. They want to overthrow Trump so badly. They want to usher us into what they call democratic socialism, which is really communism. They want to usher us into that so badly. That's why they think it's okay to assassinate their political opponents. That's why that lady sat up there and asked Pete Hegseth, if Trump ordered you to shoot an American citizen in the leg, would you do it? If I was Pete Hegseth, I'd be like, if it involved securing the nation, you goddamn right I would. Instead, he played footsie with the damn question, with the answer. Like, you goddamn right. If they're part of a domestic terrorist organization, it wouldn't be the leg. We don't aim for legs. We're the National Guard. We're the military. We center mass. Our purpose is to defend this nation from all terrorists, both foreign and domestic. That means U.S. citizens who have turned traitor, who are trying to overthrow the government. We will blow their fucking brains out. Does that answer your question? They asked him that on 2 separate occasions. On 2 separate congressional hearings, they asked him that. But he should have been like, you goddamn right I would. That's a direct order from the president. I trust his judgment. He hired me. I'm telling y'all, man, renounce the Democratic Party. Get off that plantation. Stop watching CNN and MSNBC and them. Stop thinking like your mama. Stop speaking with your mama's mouth. Be a fucking man for once in your life. Be of independent thought. Stop crying about somebody being racist to you when you ain't nobody even did nothing to you. Cry like a bitch. I'm sick of that. Look how quiet when Trump funded money to Israel. Not one outrage from Democrats like Jasmine Crockett, Al Green, Al Sharpton, etc. Watch how Trump will unite with Putin. All suddenly they come out. Right, because he cut off the gravy train. How did she respond to Trump? I'm sorry. Never realized how tiny she is. Pirro. Yeah, Pirro is short like Judge Judy. Brandon Johnson, 2028. He'll probably be in jail. Democrats need illegals as an army because they know black folks won't fight. No, of course they won't. All we do is just bitch and moan and cry about, oh, the racism. ABS Kid and YouTube moderator. We love the Democrats over here. Yeah, okay. We love them for like 20 minutes and they can go in the bathroom, wash up in the sink. Hey, Uber will be waiting when they done. At any rate. All right, y'all. I just needed to talk to y'all about that because I'm having these discussions with. I had these discussions today with black men, and I have never heard such outdated, low IQ misinformation. It's been a while, and look, if you guys want to watch these YouTube guys that all they do is sell you fear and anxiety and racism and whatnot, and trying to say, oh, the black dude was lynched by 50 Republicans and all of that shit. I mean, y'all go right ahead till the videos come out, because there's video evidence. They're just backtracking his steps. There's video evidence of that brother's lynching out there in was it Alabama? Why are you holding barbershop? What are you holding? Barbershop session? Yeah, but there's video evidence of the brother's moments before he was hung. So we'll wait till the video footage. Like I said, we'll wait till the video footage comes out. I'm not getting bent out of shape or over nothing, but I want to see the video footage. We'll see what it shows. Yeah, they have video. All right, let me get out of here because I do want to be able to make shorts out of this. So I remove that, and I will catch y'all later. Peace.